Today is a live Q&A where we will answer the most frequently asked questions that we receive from prospective students wanting to study with us. So we're going to answer those for you, and then I'm going to take you for a sneak peek inside our student platform so that you can have a bit of a look and feel of what it would be like to study with us, some of the resources and the extra bonuses that we provide to the students, which is part of their courses, and the extra opportunities to learn with us in our live training invitations. Okay, so I'm joined with a couple of people this morning who are part of our team, and I wanted to show you how international we are. So if you would all like to introduce yourselves, just a couple of team members here, we'll get started. Michelle, would you like to briefly introduce yourself and what you do for the Institute?
Sure. Hi, everyone. Yes, so I'm Michelle, and I did the Holistic Life Coach Mind Body Practitioner training a couple of years ago, and I am now an assessor, one of the assessors. So when the workbooks come, when they're completed, I go through and put some comments and encouragement, and so we just sort of get to know you by doing that assessment for you.
And getting to connect with you and answer any questions after your workbook is sent back.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you. Maria, would you like to introduce yourself all the way from Canada?
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Vicky. Oh, it's so nice to see some new faces and some friends. Hello, everyone. My name is Maria. I'm also a graduate of the Mind Body Food Institute, and I am one of your assessors as well. And my specialty is the audio assessments, actually. So I listen in on the completion piece of your certification, where you submit an audio, listen, offer feedback, and ensure you're set off into the world as a wonderfully trained and inspired coach moving into the world of health. So it's an amazing opportunity. We have an incredible team, as Vicky said, reaching from around the world. I've had the opportunity to meet hundreds of other students, literally from everywhere, every corner. So it's an absolute honor to be here with you and to be a part of the team.
Thanks, Maria. Jane, Craig, who'd like to go first?
Go, Jay.
Hi, I'm Jay. I'm the course advisor for Mind Body Food Institute. So I'm very fortunate. I work full time with both Vicky and Craig, as well as our student support officer, Nicole. I'm generally the person who's your first point of contact if you have any inquiries or inquiries regarding the courses. So if you call up or send an email, I'm generally the first person that will respond to you or jump on a Zoom call or a call with you to chat about the courses. And then I also help add the students into the system and make sure you're all set up and ready to go. And I assist Vicky in running some of the live training sessions as well throughout the courses. Yeah, it's very rewarding working with Mind Body Food, so it's great. Craig, your turn.
All right, I won't be long. I'm Craig. I help in the background in accounts. You'll see me helping with account inquiries, payments. I also contribute to the business and marketing section of the course. So I help with graduates and students if they've got questions around their niche or things to do with establishing a business, growing a business, business planning, things like that. I can help there a lot, and just about anything else in between, whatever it is needed.
Yes, we're a small team, small but mighty. So there's about 4 or 5 of us in the core admin team, and we are based in different states in Australia. And then we have our assessors who are also in some different states in Australia, and then of course overseas. So we are definitely international, and it's wonderful to support and meet all the students who just blow my mind with the countries that we see coming in as students enroll. It's just so wonderful. But for the moment, what we're going to do is answer some of the most frequently asked questions, and hopefully we capture most of them for you. So the first question that we have, and Jay's going to help me answer these questions, is when can I start my chosen course? And in the early days, many years ago, I used to have certain start dates for the courses, but there were a lot of students asking, can I start at this time? Can I start at that time? So what I decided to do was to have an open enrollment, meaning that students could start when it best suited them. And because there's students enrolling every week in different courses, there's usually always a student who is traveling along throughout the modules about the same time as you, if not a group of students. So it's then much more convenient to start when you want, and then to also to connect with different students as you progress through. Many of the students have WhatsApp groups that we encourage them to create in their regions. So we do have various different WhatsApp groups in regions for you to join into if you like. And of course, if you'd like to start your own WhatsApp group because you'd like to get together with some of the newer students, then that's definitely an opportunity for you too as well. The students really love doing that because it gives them an opportunity to connect. And often when we run our live orientation calls, which we do every month or so, we go through the platform and we show our new students exactly how to find everything and navigate everything. And I'll be showing you a little bit of that today. And through that connection in the live orientation and the opportunity to introduce themselves, often they then can make connections and join forces to help support each other as they progress through, because they realize, wow, that person's into something that I'm interested in, or that person actually lives down the road from me. We've had that happen before overseas. So that's wonderful when that happens as well. So you can start at any time that suits you. How long do you have to finish your course? Depending on the course that you choose to enroll, and if you do choose to enroll with us, we're not pushy or salesy here at all. It's completely your decision. We just want to be transparent, make sure we give you all of the information that you will need to make an informed decision about what is best for you. But the full certification courses, we offer 12 months completion time, and that's actually more than double the time that you could complete it comfortably part-time with several, just a few hours a week, 5 to 6 hours a week. So we do offer a generous amount of time. The reason why we do have a completion date, though, is because there has to be a window of learning and integration in order to retain that information and put it into action. Not all of our certification courses require practical experience, but the coaching and practitioner ones do. So it's really important to have that window of learning where you are absorbing the content, you are reflecting on it, you are putting it into practice, you are integrating it throughout the self-reflection exercises and the tasks in the workbook, which are all very practical. And then you are also putting it into practice with actual practice clients. And we'll talk a little bit more about that because there's always questions about doing the practicals. Jay, did you want to add anything onto that for the question, will I have enough time to complete my course if I work full time?
I suppose the best way to explain it is, as Vicky said, you do have 12 months to complete the longer certification, so the dual certification, and we generally say that's around 3 to 4 hours of study per week. You can complete it within the 5 to 6 month mark, which we say is approximately 6 to 8 hours of study per week. If you do sign up to one of the shorter courses, it's very similar. So if you sign up to, say, one of the holistic life coaching by itself, or even our TMS course, they're 6 months duration, and again, you can complete them around 3 to 4 months, which is approximately 6 to 8 hours. But we do allow that longer period of time for 6 months because, we do find a lot of the students who join in at Mind Body Food, they work full time, they have family commitments. So it gives them that opportunity to work through the course and have that extra time to complete it. So,
We're very conscious that life happens and life does happen and it will happen. So sometimes some of the questions, particularly in the coaching modules, they might ask something of you that you've never asked yourself before, which is essentially what you will do as a coach practitioner with your clients. You'll be asking curious questions that have a purpose to draw out information, self-insight, self-awareness. And that's essentially what you'll be doing yourself as you progress through. So it is equally personal growth as much as it is professional development and training. So often some of those task questions will invite you to sit with something that perhaps needs to be sat with, that perhaps needs to be acknowledged, accepted, released, let go of. So some of those task questions, they might trip you up a little bit. They might invite you just to sit for a week or two and not progress through the next modules, but just sit with the question so that whatever needs to happen can happen during that time. So we do know that life happens, and for many of our students, particularly through COVID, there were a lot of challenges. There were deaths, there were diagnoses, there were illnesses, there were a lot of challenges, and we helped them through where we needed to. So we do know that that happens, which is why we make sure that you have more than double the time before you even start. And for those who do need extensions, there are extensions available where needed for a small fee. Now, do I need to have a wellness background to understand the content? So Jay, would you like to take this question?
No, you do not require a wellness background. The courses themselves are laid out so that it gradually introduces you and then builds upon what you're learning to help you gain more information. There's lots of fantastic definitions behind what you're learning. It's a very, very well processed, thought out way to build on the information and grow as you're working through the course. So as you're learning more and more information, you start to kind of everything starts to fall into place like a little puzzle. And it depends on which course you're doing as to how that happens. I can say my background is a zookeeper, and then I did the course. So if you can go from working with animals to understanding the human mind, I think you're capable of working through this specific courses. So no, they're done quite well to build on the information and make it clear. Definitely.
Thank you, Jane. I will say that we have had certainly some medical practitioners, GPs, nurses go through these courses, particularly the mind body modules as well. But we've also had accountants, massage therapists, personal trainers. We've had people from all backgrounds teaching. So you do not need to have a background. If you have a personal interest, and generally most people do, they have an interest and maybe they have a personal story, and that's propelled you forward to do your own work or to take steps forward to move towards the kind of life that you're trying to create for yourself. So often people come to this work because they've already started the journey for personal reasons, and then that passion turns into a desire to help other people. So you don't need to have a background. I've thought of everything I could possibly think of to prepare you and to gradually open that doorway of information and integration so that you then have everything you need all the way to workshop, program outline, and pricing, services, business plan at the end of the full certification courses. So you essentially are ready to launch your business. And just recently, we've seen quite a few students in the private group talking about having paying clients before they've graduated and asking, should I charge this much and how should I do this? And that's really great that you've got a paying client already before you're graduated. And we do see that when the students put in the work with their practical coaching and their experience. And I always say, make sure that you treat your practical sessions as if they are paying sessions, because you never know which one of your practical clients will become a paying client or will tell someone else about you. So it's wonderful when we see that happen. One of our next questions around this is, will I have one-to-one support throughout my course? Yes, you will. Jay, would you like to answer that one?
So you have various forms of support. As Michelle mentioned earlier, they actually will get in touch with you and offer a Zoom or we call it a mentor call, where you can have a chat to them, see how you're going. If you're having any concerns or issues, they're happy to chat to you around that. And generally, it's actually when you're about to start working with practice clients. So it's a good opportunity to talk to them if you have any fears or concerns around that as well. We do also have our student support officer. So you can contact her, send her an email at any time throughout the course. She generally replies within 24 to 48 hours. If she feels like you're really stuck or really in a bit of a slump, she'll actually offer you a Zoom call as well. So you can contact her, send her an email at any time throughout the course. She generally replies within 24 to 48 hours. There is lots of support. We also, on our student dashboard, have lots of how-to videos on how to move through the course. We have PDF documents explaining things, even things on how to work through studying online, because we know that a lot of people have that concern of, oh, how do I study online and I don't have someone holding me accountable? How do I work through this? We have video education and training on that, as well as some great PDF documents explaining all of that as well. Yeah.
And I do happen to have some of those open in the background. So when I give you a sneak peek inside, I'll show you some of those resources that we have there for you. But we are very active on email, Monday to Friday, but usually I'm around on the weekends. So Friday night, Saturday, even Saturday night, I've even been known to respond to students on Sundays, which I have to stop doing. But I do like to make sure that you know that we're here. And if there's a question, if it's a tricky question, sometimes we are known to record an audio for you, and we'll email the audio back so you can hear us explaining what it is. Or we might even record a screenshot for you and we'll walk you through whatever it is so that we can answer your question in a way that makes sense for you and that is supportive. Okay, so are there face-to-face classes? And how do the live training classes work with my time zone? So are there face-to-face classes? This is face-to-face, but it is virtual and online. Our core content for every course, the way I've designed it, is to be accessible regardless where you are around the world and regardless of how you're accessing it. So the core content is always the recorded training webinar that is specifically done for that particular module. It is the module PDF that is downloadable underneath the webinar, and I'll give you a look at what that looks like into a lesson area soon. And then the workbook is usually available at the beginning of that stage so that you can actually start working through the workbook as you work through your module PDF and your webinar. And that is your core content as you progress through. There is no need to attend any of our live training calls. They are absolutely pure bonus, but we do run 2 to 4 of them. Sometimes we do around 5 or 6 in a month. We try not to do that because there's too many for us and it's a lot to work out, but generally around 2 to 4 live training calls a month. And we always do an AM, like this is our AM here, but for many of you in different parts of the world around Canada, US, it would be your afternoon, evening. And then what we do is we also do for the same training call, we will repeat it with a brand new set of students from a different time zone in our PM, which for Europe, UK, those areas is their morning. So we do like to mix it up a little bit, and we always try and cater for everybody. And Maria, being in Canada, she often does some on the weekends or at different times. So you might have one in the morning in your time zone who are here live with us. And then it might be the opposite for the opposite time zone as well. So we do try to mix it up for you. And we encourage you to come. You don't have to come to the live training calls. As I mentioned, they're not part of the core content, but we do like to have them because studying online, studying virtually, just like being an entrepreneur and working for yourself, working from home, it can be a little isolating and lonely if you don't have that community to connect in with. And that's what our Facebook community is also designed for, as well as our regular live trainings, because we want you to feel part of the community. We want you to have the opportunity to check in with us, to learn with us, to connect with your fellow students, to make some new support connections with like-minded people, and to have the opportunity to connect with us live and do a bit of practice or learn something new that will complement your training materials. So we do have a lot of opportunity to join us live, face-to-face, but it is virtual because we are an international online education institute.
So you'll receive a student newsletter, and that generally goes out at least once a week, and that announces what all the upcoming trainings are, as well as what times they are, and includes a Zoom link. In those newsletters, we also then send out a replay as well, but you can also find all of the replays in our student dashboard. So even when you sign up to Mind Body Food, you'll actually have access to all of our previous live trainings that we've ever run, which is really a great bonus as well. So you'll never miss out on any of them.
Yeah. Lots of great observational learning watching those. And I do make them available. The invitation to our live training is come when you can, leave when you need to. And regardless of what course you're studying, you're all welcome to our live training calls. And even as a graduate, we continue to invite you to join the live training calls to continue learning and being part of the community, which is really important when you're working in business on your own. And essentially that's often what people are doing. They do this work because they want to run their own business, work from wherever they want to work part-time, work full-time, and work up to doing that so that they can contribute to the family, or they can just have that little thing for themselves, or they can build that business because that's something that they really want to do. So this allows them to do that. Okay, so I think we've answered the question, will I be able to connect with other students and how? Because we've already given multiple ways that students connect with each other. Do the coaching courses have any practical components or experience? Yes, they do. And the next, will I feel confident to coach at the end of the coaching course? I would really love to divert this to some of our previous graduates who actually are assessor contractors. And we have 3 of them with us. Debbie's just joined us. Hi, Debbie. Debbie and Shelley assess the workbooks, and Maria assesses audio assessments. So can I ask you guys, as a graduate as well as a live training host, how did you feel when you did your practical? Did you feel confident to coach by the time you graduated?
Hi, everyone. I'm Debbie. I'll jump in and answer from my perspective anyway. I think when I did the course, it was a few years ago now, of course I felt really nervous when I first started doing the practical sessions, but I actually loved the learning process and the evolution of who I was as a coach through those practice sessions. And even after, as I created my own business and do my own coaching sessions, there's that continuous learning journey and evolution of who I am as a coach. And I see that with the students that I mentor through their courses as well, that there's, you know, an integration of what they're learning and the knowledge and wisdom that they bring to it. And as it integrates, there's more and more confidence is built. So it's only natural to feel like you're a bit nervous at the beginning, but there is the more you do it, the more confidence that there is. So yeah, so it does come.
For us, it's all about practice equals progress. We don't care about perfection. Perfection insinuates that there's no further growth. It's about practicing to progress and get better at utilizing your skills. And everything I write is always keeping the brain in mind. So I want to make sure that you don't just consume information and then it goes out the other side. I want to make sure that every student consumes the information in such a way that they are utilizing it, they are thinking about it, the ideas are marinating as they are going through, moving through their day, interacting with their loved ones or other people, and they're starting to see the world a little differently. They're starting to notice their own self-talk a little differently. So that is something that is a key component of that word integration, and putting that then into practice with practical clients. Maria, I think you might have wanted to say something as well. Please do.
You can feel me, Vicky. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, I do. And Debbie said it beautifully. It's a confidence competency loop, right? So as our competence grows, and you'll find that your competence will grow as you're ingesting and really applying the knowledge that you take on through the course load, your competence will improve. You'll get to the point that it's time to practice. And of course, the nerves will set in, right? So it is a continuous journey, and it's meant to be. And just like Vicky said, if we're done and feel that we've reached a pinnacle, we are done. We're at the end. Who wants to be at the end? I want to keep living. So let's keep learning, right? Part of the confidence also comes with, there's a fear of doing it alone. And so one of the greatest aspects of this family really is what this network is at the Mind Body Food Institute, is that you are never alone. So from everything that's been mentioned, from the WhatsApp groups to the connection we have even in some Facebook groups, to the opportunity to connect with your assessors, the feeling of being alone doesn't exist among us. So you always have a support system. You always have someone to lean to, even as far as, you know, a service that some of us assessors offer, which is connect with a coach as well, or during and or after. So there is a beautiful network of support for you, and the confidence really keeps growing. And as you feel a sense of connecting with a next phase of your growth, you'll reach another pinnacle where your confidence may dip a little again. That just means it's time to grow and continue on the cycle. So it's a beautiful journey.
Wonderful. And the next question we had on from that relating to the practice is, do I learn what a coaching session looks like and how to conduct sessions? Yes, you absolutely do. Jay, would you like to share?
So especially in the first stage of the course, in the holistic life coaching stage, you learn everything from your scope of practice as a coach. So, you know, making sure you don't step into the counseling side of things, but you're staying in your role as a coach. You learn even things like communication skills, habit loops. Yes. Even you get lots of templates, lots of great information. So even like from anything from how to do your first discovery call, we've got a training on that. How do you do your first pre-questionnaire that you send to the client? And we actually have a template that you're able to use. But there's a wheel that we have set up of timings of how your coaching session will look. Even in our live calls, we do practice sessions, we do question and answer sessions. Students might come in and say, I had this client who had this issue, how do I deal with that? And then we all kind of come up with the solutions. And that both Maria and Debbie run fantastic training on, how to overcome your nerves as a coach, how to niche down as a coach. So everything from the very moment you start the course, you're learning to become a coach.
And think like a coach.
And think like a coach. Yes, definitely. And you even learn things like templates for your code of conduct and your terms and conditions and everything as a coach. So you get handed, I used to say it's literally handed to you on a platter. So
I do like to over deliver.
You
and I
do.
have created a lot of new resources this year.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's what I was going to add is in terms of resourcing, truthfully, I am a researcher. Like I researched so long and hard, even before coming to the Mind Body Food Institute. And what I can share as a even non-partisan, I know I'm part of it now, but as a non-partisan, the amount of resourcing is next level. You never feel under-resourced ever. It's amazing. Yeah, Vicky is amazing.
I might show everybody a little bit of some of those resources that you get. All right, so moving on to our next section, will I receive a certificate and will I be able to gain insurance to work? Yes, you will. If you successfully complete all of the required tasks, which for the full certification courses are to answer all the task questions in the workbook, to complete all of the practical requirements, all of the forms are provided for you. So it's just a matter of completing them as you progress through your practice. Once that's all submitted in, everything's been assessed, your audio's been assessed, you're marked competent, then you receive your certification, and that is what you use to approach the insurance companies. You don't need to necessarily have an industry membership. The industry membership can only offer approval or recognition or accreditation if the insurance companies will insure that particular modality. So if you don't want to have an industry membership, you could save a little bit of money and go straight to the insurers. And we do have a list with many different countries that students have found. And you will be able to get professional indemnity and public liability insurance with these certifications. So that's no problem at all. Will I be able to start my own business? Yes, you will, particularly if you complete the full certification courses, where the final stage is all about the foundations of setting your business up correctly, the right way from the very beginning, where you will look at who is your target client. You'll understand what are their pain points, what are they struggling with, that they may not even realize is a problem because they've just become accustomed to living, thinking, feeling in this certain way and thinking this is all there is, that I can't change. We can if we make the decision to change, but often we can't change on our own. We need some outside help to help us see what we can't see, to help us think about things in a completely different way so we can begin to challenge our old paradigms and the way that we've been conditioned and patterned to think and behave. So all of those things you will be considering alongside designing a workshop with the template I provided, creating and designing your own pre-questionnaire, designing your own 12-week signature program. And it's okay if you don't know exactly what that is at that stage. It's just an outline to get you started. You'll have your pricing and your services and a simple business plan structure that you will complete as part of your tasks. So you will effectively be ready to go knowing who it is that you plan to help and serve, what it is that you're offering them, and what solution you will be providing and how much you're going to charge and how you're going to do that. We even look at the basic pages of a website, social media, so that you can look at what strategy that you might have ready to connect. But I always like to say, because many, many years ago, 13 years ago, when I started my private practice, I got out there into the community. I'm not really a big fan of networking. I really don't like it. But back then, I tried the networking thing. It didn't work for me. So I wrote my own introduction letters. I wrote and designed my own little flyers, and this was back before Canva and PicMonkey, all those very easy to design graphic software that you can use now. I didn't have that, so I designed my own, printed them up, and I went round and I met with different different businesses who were complementary to the services that I was going to be offering. And I also made connections at medical centres and pharmacies because I was running meditation courses, stress management, anxiety support, depression support. So I went around to the kinds of businesses and places where my target clients would be shopping, would be hanging out. And I did that legwork in the beginning, to the point now, 13 years later, we still receive phone calls for people to work with me because I got out into the community. One of the easiest ways to get started isn't to have a website. It isn't to spend any money on advertising and marketing online. It's actually to get out there and make connections into your own community. Let people know that you're there, because starting one-to-one is the easiest way to get started. And I don't know if Debbie or Maria or Shelley or even you, Jay, because you've got your own business on the side as well, I don't know if you wanted to share anything in addition to that in getting started in business. No, you don't have to. Because having a website's not for everyone. Advertising not for everyone.
Just to reiterate what you were saying, Vicky, you're 100% spot on. I think that there is, you know, a lot of students come out of the course feeling like they need to have all of that technology mastered before they can have their first client. And what you've said is spot on, where connecting with community is the fastest, easiest way to build your business. And in that process, you're building your confidence. And in that background, you can be building your online presence, your reputation, all that sort of thing while you've got your clients coming in. And then you just expand it as a business grows. It's a natural process for business growth to start small. Not everybody's going to have a global market from day one. And yeah, I think that's what you said was perfect.
Okay, great, excellent. All right, so can I use my certification to work in other countries? Yes, you can. You just have to be careful with insurance companies. Sometimes insurance companies will cover certain countries. So if you then move and you want to work in different countries, you may just need to change your insurance. So that's something that we can help you with down the track if you need that. But it's always best to contact the insurers directly, because we are not an insurer. Yes, we could start up our own membership business and start taking extra money for memberships just so we can make alliance with some insurance companies, but I have absolutely no desire to do that. So we will always help you work directly with the insurance company and know what questions to ask, but they are the best people to go directly to. Okay, can I use my, yes, we've answered that. Are your courses recognised and accredited? Yes, they are. What is the success rate of students after completing your courses? Well, I'd really like to say that the completion rate is in the 90s, which is fantastic for virtual online learning. We really do want to see you graduate. And it's not about, I'm not a fan of anyone trying to rush through content just to get a piece of paper and say, yes, I'm this now. I want to make sure that when you get the end, you've earned that piece of paper because you know confidently how to do what it is that that piece of paper says you are certified as. That's really important to me. And when you see an example, I'll show you an example of Module 1 in our full dual certification. When you see what you get in Module 1, there is no need to rush on from Module 1 because you'll need the time to go through those extra resources to really set you up for success from the beginning when you first start. So, Jay, would you like to share some of this? I'm so proud of our students. They're putting positive ripples in the world from all corners of the world, and it really makes me happy. We like to follow them on Instagram and their Facebook, and we encourage them to post when they have events and workshops to support each other. And it just makes my heart very happy to see what many of the students are doing and how they're doing it, and blending all kinds of previous experience and skills with what they learn with us. Jay?
Yeah, so in relation to success rate, one of the responses I do generally give is it is hard to sometimes say what the success rate is going to be, because as Vicky mentioned before, we have doctors doing our courses, we have nurses doing our courses. So of course they're already working in a successful industry and they've come in just to get that additional modality, because obviously the mind body is becoming such a larger thing now in society that they're wanting to implement it into what they're doing. We even have gym instructors now. A lot of gyms are paying for their PTs to come and learn how to work in the mind body space. Yeah. In saying that, coaching is still, a lot of people are worried that it's becoming a saturated niche. And the way I explain it is, do we ever say that doctors are saturated? No, because we always need doctors, and coaches are the same. And you might see, so Maria might go to one doctor, but Glenda might prefer a different doctor because you relate to that person better, or they offer different expertise in what they're doing. And every coach offers something different and unique. They all offer different niche focuses, they offer different personality, and they offer different experiences in their background as well. And so their uniqueness is what's going to make them stand out. And so, Ali, you yourself, your uniqueness, if you become a coach, is what's going to make you stand out to the people that you attract as a coach. So that's why coaching, it's actually becoming bigger rather than too saturated. It is an area that people are wanting to know more about. They're wanting to know more about the holistic space. They're wanting to know more about how the mind-body connects and everything. So it's definitely becoming a larger space. And one of our students who I love to share this about, who I've connected with again recently, Sarah, she's in Italy, and her concern was in Italy, people don't know what a coach is. It's not known about over there. And she's now at a stage, she's running a successful full-time coaching business. She works with mothers as well as children. And she also runs, I love this, she originally started doing nutrition coaching, but now has moved to mindfulness coaching. And through her move, she actually runs mindfulness suppers. So she's combined the two, and it's absolutely beautiful what she does. And she's looking at now bringing them. So her and her partner want to travel. She's going to be bringing them over here to where we are in Australia to run some over here as well. So not only is she's growing quite big and well known in her community in Italy, and it's through exactly what Vicky said, word of mouth, letting people know what she does, who she is, and educating them on what a coach is. She's now able to travel and implement what she's learned. We have, Robin Birkin is another one we've actually recently had on ourselves here, training the students since she's graduated, because she's become successful in the Instagram space. So she's actually now training the students how to run Instagram reels and how to do Instagram posts and everything. So she's more of a marketing and business coach now. I mean, even the few coaches you can see on here themselves, they're now running successful coaching businesses. I've run workshops with women over in India who want to be future leaders, and I've done a mindfulness course with them over Zoom. I now run meditation and ocean immersions down at the local beach. You know, there's just so many opportunities. And I actually got the idea of the ocean immersion from one of our previous graduates who lives over in Ireland, who runs them over there, and she's loving doing it over there. And I was chatting to her, she mentioned it, and I went, oh, that would be fantastic to do here in Australia. So you do find that even just networking with the other students, when you're through the Facebook group and everything, you tend to end up finding that you naturally mold with people who have similar interests as you as well, and you stay connected and you help hold each other accountable and you work together. And the way we say that you are successful upon completion is if you are motivated and have that discipline, and this is what you want to do, then you'll tend to find that, and making those networks, making those connections with other people to help work together and grow your business. The other thing is we do also have a lot of students who just do the course and find they went in thinking they wanted to be coaches, but then had so much personal development through the course and discovered themselves so much more that they've actually come out on the other side and gone, I absolutely love that. I've grown as a person, but now I'm going to go and become a massage therapist and implement what I've learned as a mind-body practitioner into that, or I'm going to become an occupational therapist or psychologist. Or so, yeah, there's so in relation to the word success, we see a lot of success, but just in so many different forms.
Yes. One of my favorites is one of my earlier students. She graduated, maybe about 5 years ago, 6 years ago now, maybe. I think it would be pushing 6 years. And one of the most beautiful things she said to me was, when I grew up, I was told I was stupid and that I would never amount to anything. And she said, going through your course, working on these belief systems, she said, I actually have reignited my passion to become a teacher. And she said, I thought I had resigned myself to never becoming a teacher because I wasn't smart enough, because that was the message I received growing up. She is now a qualified primary teacher. And that makes me very happy. So yes, sometimes that might be your version of success, is what you thought you wanted, which is always based on your current belief systems of what is possible for you and your own potential. Sometimes when you break through those and you clear those old limitations out and you consciously begin to create and become more aware of what you are thinking and creating in your own life, sometimes that glass ceiling is broken and you realize, actually, now more opportunities are opening up for me and I believe that I can achieve them. And that might be your definition of personal success. And what you thought you wanted may now be, actually, that's over here because what I want's over there. And now I know I can go get it. And that is beautiful. That is success, whatever your definition of it. Okay, so I think one of the last questions that we had here was, what support will I get when I finish my course? So one thing, first off, all graduates receive lifetime access. They also receive invitations to future live training, so you can continue to be a part of the community and join in, continue to grow and learn. Continuous access to our private Facebook community, and an opportunity to be listed on our graduate listing page to showcase where you are and what you do and who you help. So we do have a few great opportunities for you when you complete your course. We're not just going to say, congratulations, you're done, see you later. We're congratulations, stay connected with us, because we want to see you succeed in whatever it is that you're moving towards. Okay, so I did have a couple of other questions there about business, but we'll see if they pop up, if anyone has those questions. But I'm conscious of time, so I'd like to now screen share for you and give you a bit of a sneak peek so that you can all have a look inside our student dashboard. So here is our main student dashboard here. So it is the first page that our students see when they first enroll and create their student account. They come in here, and this is where we like to ensure you have all the information that you need to succeed, to orientate yourself. So we make sure that you know who to contact and to check emails. Gmail likes to put everything in promotions, and Hotmail, Yahoo, Outlook, those old email programs, they do like to put some of our emails into spam. Then we invite you into the private Facebook group. You have access to all of the video training vaults here, and as you can see, there's quite a lot, and all students, regardless of what course, get access to these. We have our frequently asked questions and our how-to video tutorial library. This is our frequently asked questions, where we have a lot of FAQs to help orientate you. And then our technical questions, how to access videos, download workbooks and things like that. We have some short 30-second to 1-minute videos in there showing students how to actually access things. Then, as Jay alluded to earlier, we do have some support for creating your own study calendar. So we have a training here that Jay did on study hacks for online learning. And then I actually turned a lot of those study hacks, along with some of the suggestions from the students, into a study guide for online learning PDF. And that is in our welcome kit. So here is a look at our welcome kit here. There are just a couple of other helpful things here, books that we recommend. Many of the books are books that I've personally read or referenced from the material, and also books that a lot of our students and graduates love to read. So we like to do some posts about there. Everyone likes to know what everybody else is reading or rereading. We've got a little daily planner, a habit and goal planner, personal journal, a letterhead, and then our study guide to online learning PDF. And this is the PDF that gives you some excellent help and support for studying, creating a good space, making sure that you have accountability for yourself, the Pomodoro technique, studying 25 minutes focused, 5 minutes break, which is really good for ADHD as well. So we've got lots of tips in the calendar in this PDF, as well as an example calendar of beginning weeks and how to move through the modules just to help you out. So all of these resources are in there in our welcome kit. Going back to the main dashboard, your course is always down the bottom. So I've got access to all of the courses, but I'm going to show you our most popular award-winning course, which is my flagship course that I wrote in 2016. the Certified Holistic Life Coach and Mind Body Practitioner dual certification. So this has both the Holistic Life Coach and the Mind Body Practitioner modules, which are incredibly popular. And the final stage 3 is all about launch and market your business. And often the students will say, this was the most challenging stage, was the business modules, but I now have a clearer picture and I'm ready to go. And I'm so thankful that you included it. So even though it often is very challenging for them, it's something that some people might think, oh, I'll just wing it. I just want the modalities and then I'll figure the rest out. But it's so much better to include those business modules so that you know what you're doing and you're becoming a professional from the very beginning. You know what you're offering, how much you're charging, you know how you're going to run your business. You've got things stretched out to work towards as your business grows. It's so, so important. So many of the students like to have this in their courses because they actually do get everything they need to start their business. So this is actually the course dashboard for the dual certification. Everything is clearly outlined to let you know what to expect before you get started. And then down the bottom, units and lessons. So there are 3 stages in this flagship course. And when I click on show lessons over here, you can see that the modules are actually inside. And then at the end of this first stage, that's where the practical coaching begins. And I know that I do throw you in the deep end a little bit at the end of the first stage, but it's important to put what you've just learned in those first 4 modules into practice straight away. I'm going to show you into module 1, and then I think I'll show you the integration week as well. So this is actually module 1. So again, the core content is the teaching webinar at the top, which is specifically designed with the module in that lesson. Module 1 PDF here, you simply click, it opens in a browser so you can download it. Then in module 1, I actually give you a coaching agreement sample template. It's quite a comprehensive agreement, legal document, and this one is a version 1. Because in the business modules, there is a business coaching toolkit and there is a version 2 of the coaching agreement so that you can tailor whichever one feels most right to you. There's also a scope of practice. And one of the more recent things that I included was the wellbeing guidelines here, which I'll give you a quick look through. This is to create safe boundaries with your client. Make sure you stay within your scope. A little bit about ACEs, which I do cover in the course as well. Signs of re-traumatizations. I've got a little crisis protocol here for you just briefly, and an example of what to say to refer out if you need to, so that you're protecting yourself and also your clients. At the end of the first stage, when they come to practical coaching, this is the practical coaching book, the instructions. I'm going to click on that so you can actually see what the practical coaching booklet looks like. There's a couple of bonus resources down the bottom there. There are video demonstrations of coaching conversations as well as coaching demonstrations and bonus videos of previous training that is designed to help you at different stages, and they're all available for you as well. So this is the practical coaching instructions booklet. It's something I added in earlier this year so that everyone could have everything in the one place. So as you can see here, there's the coaching instructions, the practice guidelines, the forms for submission that are required, our minimum practice clients, and the sessions, the practical skills competencies. So you know exactly what we will be looking for towards the end of your practical experience when you're ready to send in your audio submission with your final workbook. The actual practical coaching toolkit with some forms and exercises to use in practice. And the pre-coaching preparation, some practical session structure, which I actually do cover in module 4, all about the session structure. Professionalism, some helpful guidelines here. Do I need student insurance? Helpful reminders and encouragement, handy submission checklists, helpful videos to prepare you, how to find practice clients, and how to cease practice coaching sessions. So there's a lot of different support in here that helps in preparing for the practice and the practical. And I'm actually going to click on here in the practical coaching toolkit And Jacinta mentioned an hourly coaching clock earlier, a little clock that shows you an actual session. It's something that I designed a couple of years ago. And it does take you through a 1 hour session, reiterating what is in the content and referring back to my coaching blueprint, which is, of course, more comprehensive in the actual modules, which takes you through the steps and the stages of focus and approach when working with clients, all the way around to winding the session up, confirming the actions, and finishing that session on the hour mark, which is the average time. So there are a lot of different things in here. I do have a life coaching starter kit and the practical coaching kit so that you can see these are some of the resources that you get to prepare you. I've thought of everything I could possibly think of. So this is my new session checklists. They're very comprehensive. So you can see here, this is what they look like, a pre-session checklist to make sure as you're beginning to coach, you think of everything that you need to do, check off to prepare before you start with your session. Your terms of service checklist, the things to cover in educating your new clients about how coaching works, what it is, what it isn't. And that's to set the foundation of your coaching partnership. And then the sessions guidelines of how to progress through the session as a reminder. So in the practical coaching toolkit, you have so much great stuff in there, everything that you need to work with your clients so that you have the correct forms to practice with. You get used to using these kinds of forms in your practice so that you're working with the forms correctly, everything that you could possibly need. I would like to ask now if anyone has any particular questions, and then I'm very happy to answer anything that we may have missed. So please, if you'd like to ask a question, feel free to unmute yourself and ask away so that we can make sure that you have your questions answered before we wind up today.
There's a couple in the chat, Vicky, about
Yep.
the courses covering NLP or trauma.
Okay, so NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, there are aspects of NLP utilized within the coaching mind-body practitioner modules. I don't call it NLP per se, but it's just like CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, working with thoughts, beliefs, and feelings and behaviors. A lot of those different aspects are included in various different modalities. The modalities just approach things a little differently and call it something different, but really essentially they're all trying to do the same thing. So there is a little bit of that throughout a course like CBT, but I don't call it NLP, although there are aspects of it. Just to point out, the course pages themselves are the most comprehensive with information. I've tried to be as transparent as possible on the actual course pages with giving you bullet points underneath each module so that you can see exactly what is in those modules that you will learn about. So they are probably the best places to go for the most comprehensive information about what is included in the topics. So someone said, grateful to hear the business section will be challenging. That's the topic I know least about and need more knowledge on. And that, Kristen, is actually very similar to what the majority of the students say. They don't have any experience in running a business, but essentially to come into this work, you have to also learn how to be a business owner, not just a coach or a practitioner. So I think personally, it is essential to include in the full certification courses because you need to know how to do that. Otherwise, you won't be successful in business. There's so many courses who teach you the modalities, but then that's it. And you get out there and you think, okay, well, now what do I do? Where do I start? How do I find clients? What am I offering? How much am I charging? I don't want to leave you hanging. I want to make sure that you know exactly what you're offering, who you're offering it to, because you understand who they are, what their pain points are, and what solution you're offering to them that you feel confident to deliver. And you know how much you're going to charge and how you're going to take payments, and you know how you're going to be working with them. That's really, really important. Oh, trauma. Sorry, Anne. Okay, so I do touch on trauma in some of the courses and a little bit of polyvagal theory in Mind Body Practitioner, but trauma specifically is coming because I think it's important. Everybody has trauma, and this is the thing. We did a live training call a week or two ago, and we were talking about trauma in terms of how far can we take our coaching sessions with our clients when we notice some of those signs. And the thing is, there are big traumas and there are little traumas. There are very overt experiences and events that happen throughout our life experiences, not just in childhood, but patterning often starts there. But sometimes there are very overt situations and events that happen, and we know definitely that's a trauma. But then there can also be some small little T traumas that occur throughout childhood. And those are things that, as coaches and practitioners in the holistic approach, we can address some of those, because they're not debilitating enough that they would require trauma therapy specifically. So we can do some work with those little traumas by being informed and aware of how they would be showing up in the person's life. But specifically working with trauma as a trauma therapy, that is not something that the scope of practice of these certifications will allow you to do, because I would prefer to have a separate trauma-informed or trauma-sensitive course if you are specifically wanting to work with people in that area. So at the moment, I'm finishing a brand new course, Emotional Regulation and Energy Clearing. That will be ready within the next probably 2-3 weeks. I'm just finishing the course page and creating the quiz questions so you can self-test. It is going to be a professional development or personal growth course, and it's a fantastic addition to the Mind Body Practitioner modules. And then the next course that I'll be writing is the Trauma Sensitive Meditation Teacher Training course, which I've already outlined and begun. So that will be specifically trauma sensitive, working with the nervous system and regulation in a meditation teacher setting. And some of those trauma modules at the moment, and this could change, but at the moment I am planning to see, depending on how they sort of turn out, I am planning on making those trauma sensitive modules separate, so that for those who do want to become trauma sensitive or trauma informed while working with clients in a coaching or practitioner capacity, that will then give you the awareness of what to look for in the behavioral patterns in the nervous system when working with those clients. But still, there will be a point where if you are seeing and noticing certain signs of re-traumatization, you will want to refer. Never, ever, ever work beyond your scope of practice, your skill set, or your modality training. Always protect yourself and your clients. Do no harm. Glenda, roughly when will the new courses be available? The emotional regulation is nearly finished, and that will be ready in the next couple of weeks. And as for the meditation teacher, it'll be before Christmas. I don't want to put too much pressure on myself saying it's going to be around this time or this time, because I'm often writing different things at different times, and you never know what pops up that needs my attention. So there's only one of me to go around, and I often have a lot on my plate. But there are a lot of new short courses that I do plan to write over the next year or so. But I would say meditation teacher trauma before Christmas, and then the other courses next year. Did I answer everybody's questions in the chat box? I just don't want to miss anybody's questions. Yes, awesome. Thank you. Okay. Was there any other questions that anyone had that we didn't answer today that you would like to see? Hi, Ali.
Hi, I'm from Christchurch, New Zealand.
Hello.
Yeah, this is amazing. I'm just so happy that I found you on my Google search.
Oh,
you know, when you find and you're searching, and you just came, and I just thought, oh, it's meant to be. I just wondered, because it sounds like it's going to be an ongoing investment once I do the whole, your beautiful one, which is the holistic life coach and mind body practitioner.
I know it's a mouthful.
It is, isn't it? But I love it. It's a great name. But I'm thinking it sounds like it'll be an ongoing investment, that once you finish that, you kind of want to move on to all the other courses that you're holding.
Well, you don't necessarily, you don't have to. But
yeah.
This is the thing. And I say this in all transparency. I see so many students go course after course after course, and not necessarily our students. I'm talking about people I see in general, and sometimes the students enroll with us when they're already halfway through completing a course with someone else. And I always think, oh, do you really need to do that? I mean, don't put the unnecessary pressure on yourself to do another course because it sounds amazing and great. If you are still struggling to finish another course, I really want you to enroll, start, and actually finish. So we all really want to help you finish what you started. So I would caution going course to course to course, because at some point you have to trust that you know enough to get started in business and then work with clients. And then if you give yourself a few months of not studying, work with clients, see what comes up, see what evolves, then you can decide, do I need to enroll in any new course right now? Or is there something specifically that keeps coming up with my work with clients that I would like to learn more about to then include into my work? And then think about maybe doing another short course to bring in to your existing certification skills. Otherwise, just enrolling in course is just money that's going down the drain and you might not actually finish them.
Okay, yes. Just saying, they all sound so enticing and amazing that when you're hungry to learn at a certain point in your life, you just go, oh my gosh. So that's a question I suppose I want to ask is, in New Zealand, can I get sort of tax, we're GST over here. Once I buy a course through you, can I claim the tax, the GST?
Craig's the best person to ask about that. Sometimes we can provide a confirmation of enrolment for you because sometimes businesses paying for you might want proof that you're enrolled, or funding that happens. Some students actually have funding to enroll, so they need a confirmation of enrolment to have the reimbursement, etc. But we do have students who are already in business who purchase the courses. Then we always provide a tax receipt for you. And then they use that at the end of tax time to claim back those expenses for professional development or education expenses as part of their existing business. So did I get that right, Craig?
Yeah, we only charge GST for students in Australia. So there's no sales tax for you, Ali. So it's just the standard tuition fee that you can claim back if you can legitimately.
Brilliant. And another question I had, if I was to pay it off, say, monthly, and then I sped through it and I finished through it because it was wonderful in 6 months, and then I still had an outstanding of 6 months left to pay, I would pay it in one lump sum. Would that be all good?
Yeah, you're welcome to make a lump sum payment at any time.
Okay, great.
It's just whatever's owing. That's right, Craig, isn't it?
Yeah.
Great.
Also already forming some networking. Glenda has written that to Ali that she's also from New Zealand in Rangiora.
Brilliant. Not far. Drive.
Oh, fantastic. We have a lot of New Zealand students. I just love it.
Yeah, great. That's wonderful.
But we also have quite a lot in Canada and America and the UK. It's just amazing to see where all our students are from. So this is our contact details. If you wanted to ask any further questions after the live today, you're very welcome to email courses@mindbodyfoodinstitute.com. Jacinta is our touch point there, and she will be very happy to respond and answer any questions you have. If you'd like to book a call with Jacinta, then she will be very happy to provide the link for you so you can book a call in your time zone that suits. And that way you can ask your questions or anything that you'd like to discuss with her on a one-to-one call. You can also go and have a look at the website and have a look at our courses page, which has all the courses listed, or get in touch with us or like and follow us on Facebook or Instagram. Did anyone have any questions before we wind up today? I just want to make sure everyone's had an opportunity to ask anything that they had planned to before we say goodbye. And thank you so much for sharing the last hour or so with us. No questions? Great, wonderful. Well, I want to thank you very, very much. I greatly appreciate your time. I hope that this has been helpful, insightful, instructive, and it's given you the information that you were hoping for. And again, if you have any further questions, please feel free to reach out to us at any time. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here. I greatly appreciate it. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you in future. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.